Welcome back to the Movie Dungeon. I am your host, Dwayne the Flyers Nerd, and today we're talking about House of Dragons. So let's go and get into this shit. Starting off, we only gotta talk about the tapestry, right? It's clear as day to me that I feel like Helena is really the one threading the needles for that thing. After I see her all the time threatening it, the connections is there. The connections is there. I see you. I see what you're doing. We also start off with her in one of her dreams, actually. We finally get to see what it's like inside her dream and not through somebody else's. And in that dream, she rhymes Dreamfire. Oh, and that dragon is so fucking beautiful. The purple, the eyes and everything. And I just wish this show showcased that more. Why we don't have her? And it's rumored that this dragon is the mother of Daenerys' dragons in Game of Thrones. And why we don't have this dragon more prominent in the show? Who the fuck knows? Who the fuck knows? But I'm glad we finally get to see it. That's off my bucket list. But we also do get Aemon having a vision. And his vision, freaky ass, mama boy issued ass mother. This dude had a vision of his mama and getting it on with his mama, right? Targaryen shit. But then he kind of snaps out of it and he realizes he's not. He's fucking that one witch bitch, Allie or whatever her name is, the witch bitch. And then he throws her off and whoop de whoop whoop and he storms out. And I was like, all right, well, she definitely got into his head just to mess with him, and she knew exactly what he wanted, and that's disgusting. But Targaryen shit. But when we see Ormond still in Templeton as he is, pussy ass, he gets word of, the Winter Wolves coming. And he pretty much just says, like, look, I got something on my sleeve. I ain't even too worried about that shit. So let them come. I said, oh shit, I know what this is going. I know where this is going. Damon finally finds trying to look for his crackhead daughter. He flies to where she was at that last little kingdom in the sky. And she's like, yeah, no, she's at Fair Market, and she was looking for Vagar and whoop whoop whoop, and he just storms off, right? Then we have a scene where we see Belle and Adam, right? And he pretty much, wanted to be legitimized so he can marry a highborn lady. And he kind of said it in a flirtatious way, eyeing her. And her ass slipped up, and you talking about, oh, your brother must have said something. Hurt his little heart. You saw his face, the emotion and love just evaporate from him. He's just like, you saw it. My brother? Yeah, your brother, bro. And it's also disgusting because you guys are also family. Stop doing that Targaryen shit. But that was also funny as hell. But we do see Ormond talking to Corlys. And, pretty much he's asking, like, why do you even fuck with him? Like, why do you fuck with Targaryens? They're savage, they're witty, but in a bad way, and they lie and they're sneaking, they cutting, but you guys are Valerians, you travel the world and woo woo woo. Like, why aren't you doing something better, hanging out with better people, more peaceful people? And he didn't say shit, like, not at all. He's like, can I go? When he did say something, when he got up though, Ormond called him back and he held out a knife. I was like, oh shit. He ends up cutting off his finger, and he ends up sending that shit to his son, Alan, later on in the episode. And I said, oh my god. Like, for somebody who throws up over some blood, like, I don't know if he cut it or he had somebody else cut it, but homeboy finger gone. And is wearing that ring, so he knows who it is. So Alan knows who it is. But anyway, we pick up with Rhaenyra. She's having a small council meeting with all her little people that she got together with. They had a little bullshit conversation, whatever. But comes in Adam and Belle, or whatever her name is, and they're talking about, we see Sheep Stealer. I was like, oh no, they told her. And she was like, sheep stealer, you know, that's all right. The writer's dead, pretty much. She was like, no, she's with Ryder. I said, oh, shit. And I just said, when Rhaenyra finds out, there's going to be so much problems, right? So that's that, you know. And she had like a shock of like denial. Is this motherfucker lying to me, Damon? So yeah, and then that comes back into the episode later on. But then we pick up back with Aemon again, and his mother finally arrives. And they pretty much have like a little dinner or whatever. He pretty much just tells his mom like, yeah, I'm finna take Harrenhal for mine. Like, I'm seating here. And which bitch, she's finna be my wife. And we're gonna have some kings. So stay here. And hearing this and then seeing that the witch bitch don't really want Alice in there and stuff like that, the tension grew. And it grew. But after hearing all that, Aegon, gotta look excited there. Aemon goes off to cut some wood, and witch bitch and them, she's telling him that like, yo, you can't trust your mother. Like, she's finna bring you some fucked up evil right now, you know. So stay away from her. He's like, nah. You just want me for yourself. Mama boy, weird shit, right? But Allison took that time to go out and get a knife off the dead body that Aemon took out, and she sees a poison plant that Helena had talked about previous episode, and you can see that those wheels turning. You see those wheels turning. But then we pick up over my boy Aegon. So I got a little excited. Aegon became my boy after this episode. But him, Foot Fetish, and Tywin Lannister, yeah, they're traveling until they run into a little group of people or let them know that an army is looking for Tywin, right? And pretty much Aegon is like, listen, like, I ain't running no more. Like, y'all can go. And that was surprising to me. And he was like, all right, fuck it. I'm tired of this shit. But then what really got to me is that he was trying to let them homies go. Usually, fight for me, you know. But Foot Fetish dude, which has been holding him down this whole time, he decided to dip. So we'll see how that comes back into foreplay. But Thailand, he stayed. Little weird ass, little bitch. And he was like, you know what? I'm going to dive with my king. For my king. Fuck that. I'm ready to do this. So he rolled out with Aegon. So I was like, fuck it. But Daemon, going back to now, going to the pretty much one of the best parts of the whole episode, and maybe the whole series, right? Daemon finally catches up with his crackhead daughter. You know, they have a little heart-to-heart and stuff like that. Like, it took him forever to have a dragon too. Like, he felt like he wasn't this. Everybody around him was dying and this and that. And yeah, they just had that little heart-to-heart. But pretty much after that, he hears his wife's dragon. Here's Rhaenyra's dragon, Syrax. He looks up and he sees Syrax and the other dragon, Adam's dragon, Sea Smoke. So he sees Sea Smoke and he's like, oh shit. So the dragon, so he makes his crackhead daughter run off, but fucking, you know, Rhaenyra, she sends Adam to go get her, and he brings her back. She's like, yo, is Rhaena? You lied to me. He's like, and then the dragons are kind of feeding off the emotions, and the dragons look like they have beef with Sheep Stealer anyway. You know, he's just wild. He's just like, they're like, who the fuck is this motherfucker? Let's get him. So the dragons start getting into a battle, like a straight get down, and that's probably by far the best fucking thing I've ever seen on this show. Just the way they showcased this, the way they showed it off. It was really brutal, and honestly, my heart was starting to go out because they were fucking Sheep Stealer up, fucking them up. You had Caraxes, you had Syrax, and you had Sheep Stealer. I mean, I keep forgetting his name. Adam's dragon, Sea Smoke. I got a bearded dragon named Sea Smoke, and it keeps slipping my mind. But yeah, so that battle was fucking epic. Fuck my boy Sheep Stealer up. Like I said, they sent him off hobbling. Daemon was supposed to finish him off, but that nigga was like, I think he good. But low-key, I think he just don't want to kill him because, you know, of his daughter. You know, like, she finally found that dragon. They were just having that conversation. So I feel like he was just like, nah, I'm just going to let it rock. I'm going to let it rock. If he survives, he survives. He survives, he made it. He deserved it. So I'm glad he didn't really fully kill him. But anyway, we pick back up with Allison and her little crazy ass. She actually goes through with the plan. She poisons that nigga Eamon. Poisons him. I was surprised she did it. I mean, she's a horrible mother, but, you know, I guess there's no more lower you can go. And pretty much he drinks it and he stumbles to the witch bitch and he falls and she's like, you idiot. So, you know, she's pretty much going to save him, you know, as always. But picking up pretty much at the end of almost everything, the army finally runs into Aegon and Tylan. And, you know, this is probably badass, too. This is also why this episode is fire. Fucking Aegon takes out his sword, gives a speech. He's like, I ain't going down. I ain't surrendering. I ain't doing none of that shit. You ain't taking us, nothing. Tylan has his sword out and everything. People are laughing at him. Fucking, you just hear this and this little growling, little sound. Aegon's still talking. He don't even hear it. And he see all the people backing up. He's like, oh, yeah, I'm getting to these motherfuckers. And out of the little corner of his side, man, our fucking dragon Sunfire is back, half burnt face just like his motherfucking owner. And he looks back, sees him, looks back at the people. Dracarys, rap, fucked them all up. I was so excited because now he's back on the board in a vicious fucking way, bro, in a vicious way. But to round this whole episode, beautiful episode off, Ormond is over here talking on next to Templeton or outsider. He could be in it, to be all I know. And he's celebrating. He's talking to somebody. The camera pans out. And it's Ulf, the traitor dragon rider. And they're talking about how much that Ulf can give him. And, you know, how bad that, you know, Targaryens were treating him. That he would never get treated like that on this side. And he offers him Driftmark, Corlys's household. And I was like, oh, shit. Fucking Ulf said, you know what? Fuck, they ain't gonna just pay, man. They gonna burn. They gonna feel it. And an episode ended. Beautiful ass fucking episode. Beautiful. I don't even know what to say. I'm excited for the last one. Sorry for this late spoiler review. What a fucking episode it was. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. I am Dwayne the Flyers Nerd, you know, and this is the Movie Dungeon.